Right now, in a library in Japan, a national treasure of Korea sleeps in silence. Not in Korea, in Japan. The artist who painted it was executed. Of the 21 men who signed their names to it, 17 were killed or banished, and the prince who commissioned it was forced to drink poison by his own brother. This painting is called Mongyu Dowondo. It means a dream journey to the land of peach blossoms. A beautiful name, but behind this painting lies a cruel mystery, one that remains unsolved even 600 years later. Is there truly a curse upon this painting? Or is it simply a tragic record of art that fell before the blade of power? About 600 years ago, the Joseon Dynasty had only recently been founded, less than 50 years old. Joseon was one of the most sophisticated kingdoms in all of East Asia. It was the era of King Sejong the Great, the ruler who created Hangul, the Korean alphabet. King Sejong had many sons. Among them was his third son, Prince Anpyeong, whose given name was Yi-yong. He was, by every measure, a perfect human being. Poetry, calligraphy, painting, he had mastered all three, and so people called him Samjol, the Triple Master. His home, Mugyejongsa, was a constant gathering place for the greatest scholars and artists of the age. And people said, Prince Anpyeong is the one who most resembles King Sejong himself. Talent, respect, the love of the people. He had everything. And that is precisely what would bring about his death.
The night of April 20th, 1447. Prince Anpyeong dreamed a strange and beautiful dream. A valley where peach blossoms bloomed without end. The mythical paradise called Murungdawan, the land of peach blossoms, where immortals were said to dwell. He walked through it, he felt it, he was there. When he woke, he could not let it go. I must record this dream. I must preserve it. He summoned the greatest painter of the age, Anpyeong. Last night I saw the land of peach blossoms, painted exactly as I describe, without a single mistake. Anpyeong picked up his brush, and in just 3 days, he completed a masterpiece over 1 meter wide. As if possessed, as if guided by an invisible hand, the painting flows from lower left to upper right, from the real world into the world of dreams, from the present into paradise. It was a work of breathtaking, deliberate genius. But this beautiful beginning was only the opening act of the cruelest tragedy in Joseon history. When the painting was complete, Prince Anpyeong made a decision. He invited the greatest intellects of the age to add their written tributes, called Chanmun, to the back of the painting. Song Sam-moon, Park Peng-yeon, Sin Suk-ju, Jong In-ji. The greatest minds of Joseon all placed their names upon this single painting. On the surface, it appeared to be an elegant artistic gathering, but one man saw it very differently, Prince Anpyeong's elder brother, Grand Prince Sejong. Sejong knew better than anyone that Anpyeong lacked nothing he himself possessed: the trust of the ministers, the loyalty of the scholars, the love of the people. All of it flowed toward Anpyeong. And then Sejong read these words in Anpyeong's inscription. Is there truly nothing in this world like a dream? To the ambitious Sejong, these words were a chilling declaration of war. A poet's dream had become, in the eyes of a power-hungry man, a blueprint for treason. Let us pause here and follow the fate of each of the 21 men whose names appear on this painting. These are not mere statistics. Every single one of them was a real human being. Song Sam-moon and Park Peng-yeon. They were Anpyeong's companions in the dreamland of peach blossoms, but the reality that awaited them was a living hell. When Grand Prince Sejong seized the throne, these men refused to abandon the young King Danjong. For that loyalty, they were executed by Go-yo-hyung, torn apart, limb from limb. It was one of the most brutal forms of execution imaginable. Park Peng-yeon endured torture and never once acknowledged Sejong as king. His entire family was wiped from existence. Sin Suk-ju and Jung In-ji, their names are there too, side by side. But they read the winds of power. They chose Sejong's side, and they survived. Yesterday's companions became today's executioners. They drew the sword against the very men whose names were written beside their own. 17 out of 21, dead or exiled. At this point, can we still call this a work of art? Or was it, in truth, a political target list, a complete register of every man who stood against Sejong? But here, the story takes a stunning turn. The man who commissioned the painting was killed. Most of those who signed their names were destroyed, but the painter, Anpyeong, the man who actually put brush to silk, he survived. How? The historical text Baeko Jonso preserves a story that sends chills down the spine. In the days just before the coup, Prince Anpyeong called Anpyeong to paint with a precious ink, the Yongmae-muk, a round, ball-shaped ink cake imported from Beijing. This was no ordinary ink. One grind and the light shimmers like a jewel. The fragrance is beyond words. It was a luxury item of the highest order, and Anpyeong treasured it above all else. While Anpyeong stepped away for a moment, Anpyeong did something no one could have expected. He slipped that precious ink into the sleeve of his robe. When Anpyeong returned and found the ink gone, chaos broke out. Anpyeong stood up calmly and let the ink fall from his sleeve to the floor. "You, how dare you covet my possessions?" Enraged, Anpyeong cast him out immediately. But this was Anpyeong's carefully calculated performance. He had already sensed the approaching storm. He created a reason, a shameful one, but a reason, to walk away from Anpyeong's side. He saved his life by sacrificing his own integrity. In the collision of power, the one who survived was not the most loyal, nor the most talented. It was the one who read reality with the coldest eyes. In 1453, Grand Prince Sejong finally made his move. History calls this event the Gaeyu coup. On the night of the coup, Prince Anpyeong was arrested. He was exiled to Ganghwa Island, and there, at the age of just 36, he was forced to drink poison. His son, his family, his entire lineage, erased. After Anpyeong's death, his vast collection and records vanished from history, as if someone had deliberately, systematically wiped them from existence. Only one thing survived, like a miracle. This painting. The dream journeyed to the land of peach blossoms. But the mystery
does not end there. This painting, a national treasure of Korea, is not in Korea. It is in Japan. How? There are no official records, but the most credible theory is this. During the Japanese invasion of 1592, known as the Imjin War, a Japanese general named Shimazu Yoshihiro took it as plunder. Anpyeong's dream ended in bloodshed in Joseon, and 150 years later, the very record of that dream was carried away by yet another wave of war into the hands of an enemy nation. For generations, the painting remained in the possession of the Shimazu clan, and here a strange whisper began to spread. Those who possess this painting, they fall, just as Anpyeong fell. After Japan's defeat in World War II, the Shimazu family did indeed collapse. They were forced to sell their heirlooms and treasured artifacts. The painting passed through private hands until it finally came to rest with Tenri University Library, the foundation of a Japanese religious organization. Today, Japan has designated this painting as a nationally protected cultural property. They guard it with extraordinary care, and whenever Korea requests to exhibit it, the response is unusually tense. A dream painted 600 years ago, it has not yet come home. The land of peach blossoms that Prince Anpyeong longed for so desperately. Perhaps he dreamed of a peaceful Joseon, a place where brothers did not fight over power, where scholars could speak freely and debate art without fear. But reality led him to a cup of poison. And history asks us this question even now. Is it truly a blessing to be too gifted? If he had never dreamed that dream, if he had never committed it to canvas, could he have lived a little longer? What is the paradise you dream of? And for that dream, how much are you willing to endure?